Hi, Rowan and Emily here with your Tip Tuesday.
And we are so happy today because we're joined by certified financial planner Eric Gibson. And obviously, people are very concerned about their finances right now. Eric, what do you think is the biggest mistake that people make during financially unstable times?
Oftentimes people will make a knee-jerk reaction based on fear. This can, show itself in many ways with their investments. They'll see that their account values dropped, and then they'll kind of dramatically sell out of the market to wait for it to get better. The problem with that strategy is by the time you've noticed it's gotten better, it's too late.
Mhm.
So for example, with the recent drop that happened related to the coronavirus crisis, the market dropped historically much faster than it often does in a market correction. And then similarly, it bounced back much faster than it normally does after a market correction. So by the time you noticed it was down, you sold. And then by the time you noticed it was up, it's too late. You just missed out on double-digit recovery. So, acting based on fear instead of based on a plan often ends up shooting yourself in the foot.
Do you have different advice for people of different ages? I've heard some concerns from people who are closer to retirement age right now.
Yeah, a lot of people call that kind of the retirement red zone. You're right up to the edge, and what's going to happen if the market corrects right before you're going to retire? And I'm sure many of your listeners are in similar situations to that. So you really need to invest based on time frame. So if you need that money within 5 years, it really needs to be parked in safe investments that aren't going to see the kind of volatility that equities or stock market investing is going to bring. At the same token, if you've got 15 years before retirement, this type of a thing can be viewed more as a blip because it doesn't affect your investments 15 years from now. So really, you have to invest based on time frame. And if you stick to that, not only will you invest more properly, but you'll also have less fear as this kind of a thing appears, and you won't have to change retirement plans dramatically because you were prepared for this possibility.
And I think the last question is just what's your overall advice for people in dealing with COVID-19 and their finances?
It's times like this that show us how important having a plan is and being protected. So for example, people that have a very solid emergency fund right now are in much better situations than their coworkers that are living paycheck to paycheck, because as we've seen, sometimes this paycheck just can disappear without any warning, without anything you did wrong, without anything your company did wrong. So just having kind of a nest egg and trying to limit debt as much as possible allows you to roll with the punches a little bit easier.
Wow, that's great advice. Thank you for your time today, Eric. I'm sure our listeners will love hearing all about this.
Thanks so
Thank
much
you.
for tuning in for today's Tip Tuesday. We'll see you again next week.